Hi, I'm María Méndez and I'm the principal of the public school Aceña, situated in Mazarrón, Murcia, with around 250 students. Due to a high level of immigration, I have been demanded to include Islamic religious instruction. However, how am I going to adapt to the different communities and the ongoing opposition of parents? Let's see it. Come on.
Firstly, making an assessment and identification of the needs we have to meet, due to both the opposition and demand this request has. For that, an assembly or committee should be formed, since parents and tutors have the right to educate or not their children according to their own convictions. This measurement is supported by Article 27.3 of the Spanish Constitution, involving both parents and teachers, who are going to discuss the religious education of their children, leading to connections within the learning context. Next, the creation of an Islamic instruction curriculum. With the previous approval of the Ministry of Education and the minimum percentage of students to proceed with inclusion of this subject, a curriculum should be made. By that, the actors involved, which are the Head of Studies, Ministry of Education, and teachers, will be supported by a September 16, 2022 resolution by which Islamic education curriculum is published. This measurement implies a peer-to-peer connection and a teacher-student relationship. Also, enabling the possibility for educators to form themselves in order to teach Islam instruction through an available specialized instruction and curricular admission of this subject, so it can be implemented and taught by teachers from the same school. The official document that supports this idea is Article 10.2 of Law 26/1992, November 10th, by which the State Cooperation Agreement with the Spanish Islamic Commission is approved. This idea involves teacher staff, teachers, the school leadership team, and specialized institutions, like in this case, the Spanish Islamic Commission. Also, the organizational relationships that are going to appear are connection between peers and student-teacher connection. The promotion of intercultural education and cultural diversity in order to have a broader approach of different upbringings and backgrounds, consequently leading to a nurturing plural exchange of experience and knowledge. Documents that support this idea are Decree 359/2009 of Attention to Diversity in the Region of Murcia, especially its Article 14.9. Actors involved will be the Head of Studies, cycle coordinates, tutors, and counselors, providing a teacher-student connection and relationships within the learning context. Fomenting voluntary and free extracurricular activities that allow an approach of knowledge about their culture, gastronomy, and religion. For example, visiting mosques or attending diverse meetings, always with the previous approval of the school council. Between the documents that support this measurement, we can find Article 6.4 and 51 from the Law 8/1985, July 3rd, by which right for education is regulated, and the Royal Decree 628/2022, July 26, its Article 88. Among the actors involved, we can find teachers, school council, and the organizations that provide these services, by which we are going to attribute connections beyond the classroom. Collective adaptation to its festivities and religious limitations like dressing code and alimentary restrictions, which is regulated by the Article 16 of the Spanish Constitution, which recognizes the right and freedom of individuals to profess their faith. It is going to involve students, teachers, and families, leading to a peer-to-peer connection and student-teacher relationship. Specific programs carry out with pupils inside or outside the classroom for those with a great lack of language skills and instrumental knowledge. This measurement is supported by Article 14.2 of the Decree 359/2009 of Attention of Diversity in the Region of Murcia, and it involves the Head of Studies, counselors, logopedists, language specialists, bringing a teacher-student relationship. Building an environment based on respect and equality against any sort of religious discrimination. Article 17.1 from the Spanish Constitution and the resolution from November 13, 2017 for the improvement of scholar coexistence from the region of Murcia are going to support this measure, involving students, teachers, parents, and head of studies, bringing teacher, student, and learning within the learning context connections. Inclusion of families and tutors and their assistance regarding the religious instruction. Parents will be informed throughout the process of decision, inscription, and development of the religious instruction of their choice for their children by contacted in various ways. This measure is supported by Article 37.1 from the 359/2009 Decree of Attention to Diversity from the Region of Murcia, involving parents and teachers. This is going to provide connections beyond the classroom. Inclusion and investment on resources that develop cultural and religious awareness. For example, materials not only Islamic instruction students could use, but all pupils, enables an acquaintance and a new knowledge coming closer to historical and cultural facts, for example, including history books or Qurans. The document that supports these ideas, Article 10.3 of Law 26/1992, November 10th, by which the State Cooperation Agreement with the Spanish Islamic Commission is approved. This idea is going to involve teachers and head of studies, including peer-to-peer connections and within the learning context, relationships. As a principal, in my program, I have included these 5 main points. First, the creation of a democratic and peaceful environment in which all members of the organization can contribute to its improvement. Secondly, fostering of a diversity and tolerance among students, parents, and school staff in order to celebrate what makes every individual unique in order to access a social cohesion. Thirdly, curricular adaptations to meet individual necessities, especially for those that have special educational needs, in order to avoid segregation and ensuring the same rights and opportunities to learn for everybody. Fourthly, demolishing language barriers by the inclusion of language programs, bilingual curriculums, and formation of educators to assist parents and students with a lack of communicative skills. And finally, respect one another's differences, supporting values like freedom and respect, and also using dialogue and peaceful conflict extinction guidelines if necessary. With these measurements, we can reach some complexities an organization like schools could face, like balancing randomness and deterministic order, since there is a preparation for random factors like new policies or refugees, for example, emerging knowledge through connections by setting relationships between the members of the organization, and finally, diversity and redundancy by celebrating cultures and meeting different learning needs. As a principal, I will act like a mix of participative and transformational leadership style, since I'm going to advocate for diversity and acceptance, bringing motivation and innovation in the organization by encouraging communication among the different members of the complexity in order for them to reach common goals, support, and also inspire one another.
So now we're going to talk about how different Spanish law throughout the years have developed the concept of diversity, and we have gone from segregation to inclusion. The very first law we're going to be seeing is the 1917 General Law of Education. That is going to be the very first time we're going to see how special needs students are included in the ordinary schooling system as a modality. This is a very good first step for inclusion. Then in 1982, we're going to see the Handicap Social Inclusion Law, in which they're going to allude to these people, their schooling integration, and also some normalizing principles that are very clear in their 25th article. In 1990, we're going to see LOCSE, which is a law that is going to be very innovative and the characteristic of an open and flexible curriculum to every single school requirements and needs. And also, they're going to contemplate diversity as a quality staple of education. Then in 2006, we're going to see that LOE offers also diversity as a very essential staple of education, and we're going to see that they base themselves into giving a quality education which is also accessible and offers equity in order for every individual to develop its capacities to the maximum. Then in 2013, we're going to see LOMCE. LOMCE is a law that is going to give a personalized attention, precautions, diagnosis, and also reinforcement to every single individual in order for them to have the same opportunities and rights to develop themselves regardless of their condition. And there's also innovations like improvement of learning programs. As we can see, there has been a path and an advance that goes from segregation and inclusion through integration of measurements that meet diversity. For example, we can see specialized teachers that are going to develop the communicative skills of foreign students, or even the architectural changes we have to do to meet the necessities of handicapped people. I would mark myself with an 8 since I had great interest in this subject. I have accomplished all my tasks and I have put effort into the group work during this term, trying to face the subject with the best attitude possible. However, I personally believe that there's also a lot of space for improving and personal development. Probably the idea that everything in school is connected, and also the relationships and networks each member of this organization has with another. I think it is a crucial idea to understand because in the future we're going to be involved in this type of relationships, and we have to know how to communicate and interact properly with other members of the organization. Although all ideas explored during the course have been extremely important, I would say the most unexpected one have been the different leadership styles we can acquire as teachers and how they're going to bring out different performances and different outcomes. And also it makes us learn which is the one that is going to suit us best as future educators. Probably how to elaborate an attention to diversity care plan and how to put in disposal those measurements in order to meet those needs. And also, I would say that the first lessons of this subject were very important since we were shown how diversity appeared and evolved through history, so we can learn and have insights about its past, present, and future evolution. Probably I wasn't that aware until I learned about it in this subject and how necessary it is in education and how important it is to meet every single child's need, because in the past there were not measurements like that. Even now in some undeveloped countries there are no measurements and there's no diversity. And for that I would say that diversity is a right and there's no fair education until every single child is included and is integrated. Well, apart from reflecting about the contents required in this video, I've also learned how to manage my time correctly. I also gained insights about video editing and also develop and improve my communication skills as I've tried to do a clear and well-structured speech. To sum up, I would say that I've learned a lot from this subject, and it's probably one of those in which most of the content I have learned is applicable and useful for my future functions as a teacher.